if you are collecting shoes for the African mission, they will be picking those up tonight at 6:30. So you have until the start of church tonight to get the shoes that you've gathered up here. Otherwise, they'll miss their ride to Africa. So if you've been collecting those shoes, need them here no later than 6 o'clock tonight. If you've been collecting change in the baby bottles, our goal was 100 pounds by Easter, and we're about, I'm going to guess we're about 12 pounds short. So we're really, really close. So if you're gathering, if you got baby bottles with change in them, I think about 6 more full baby bottles would probably finish out the 100 pounds. So if you gathering those up, finish filling those up and get those in, and we'll have the 100 pounds of change that we'll be sending over to the Crisis Pregnancy Center in Marlton. So go ahead and get that on in. Also in the morning, I believe the van is supposed to leave here in the morning about, somebody help me, what time? 9 o'clock. Van's leaving here at 9 o'clock in the morning, going to Clarksville first. If you're wanting to go to that intercessory prayer training there, be here in the morning about 9 o'clock before the van take off and head that way if you want to ride that direction. That's all the important announcements I had that needed to be made this morning. We have Brother Dan James with us. I'm going to invite him to go ahead and come onto the stage. He is our in-house missionary to Romania. We love Brother Dan. We've been supporting Brother Dan for many, many, many years. As a matter of fact, his right hand in Romania, Sorin, helped me a whole lot in this building. He had a lot of sweat equity right here at Bell's Chapel while he was here a couple years ago, and did a great job, helped us out here quite a bit. And so we've got a physical connection presence in Romania right now with Brother Sorin. But it's good to have Brother Dan. We will be taking up another offering for him and his ministry at the end of the service today. But if you want to give him your undivided attention, he's going to tell us what Jesus Christ is doing in the land of Romania this morning. Brother Dan.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Chad. Where's the microphone? My voice is a little...
Where did I put that mic?
Thank you. I love that orange tie you got on. Is that orange? I believe it is. I'll tell you what, I got to get out of these lights. I don't like spotlights. I'm going to get down here on the ground, on the floor where I can see you better and you can see me. Let me make sure this thing is on. Okay, there we go. Let me tell you, how many of you know Sorin? How many hands? Let's see. Wow, we got a bunch. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, he's doing fine. I talked to him yesterday. The churches are doing good. Each one of the churches, 5 of them, for those of you that don't know how many churches we have over there. A lot of good things are happening in churches. A lot of people are being saved. Exciting. We just had a young man, the first of the year, that was Orthodox. He was brought up in an Orthodox church, which is nearly nothing. And he found out that there was a Pentecostal church in the village. And he stopped in and visited for the first time. He talked to the pastor after the service. The pastor explained salvation to him. And it was just a few weeks later that he was baptized in the church, gave his heart to Jesus Christ. In Sorin's church, we've had 2 couples. Both of them, the man and the wife, both gave their heart to Jesus and got saved within the same month. One couple had 7 children, were not married, were living together. Now let me explain to you, those of you who don't understand living together in Romania. These people are very poor. They're gypsies, and they cannot afford to get married. They cannot afford the money that it costs. So what they do is they just live together. Well, this couple walked into church after their children had been coming to the after-school program, which I'm going to explain in a minute in the pictures. And the children had been going to church every Sunday, and the mother and the father came to church. And they gave their heart to Jesus that service. I've got pictures of them with the 7 children standing up on the platform. And this is where the after-school program and the Sunday school had made a difference in this family's life. But God is really moving in all 5 of our churches. Faye and I are looking forward to going the last of 2 weeks of May to go back over there and visit the churches. And I'm excited about it, to get back to see all of our friends and the churches and what they have done. So we're going to go ahead and go through the pictures here, and let me get out of your sight. Turn this on. I'm going to sit down somewhere over here. I'll sit way over here on the steps. And I don't want you to see me, but I want you to see what God is doing and has done. We went to Romania about 23 years ago, and heaven knows we had no idea what God had in plan for us. I'd been to Honduras. I'd been to Belize. We've been to Jamaica, but we wound up in Romania for over 20 some odd years. This is the city of Cebu, where we have a hotel there that we stay in. This is where Seren lives. It's a beautiful city, and when you go to the city of Cebu and walk around, and you look and say, there's not a lot of poverty here. It's nice, and it is. My signal is not. There we go. This is the street of Cebu, what we call the walking street. Those tents out there has tables and chairs under them, and those are pizza places, restaurants, things of that nature. It's a beautiful city. This is a German church. They actually have a church in it, and we went through this church. And you cannot believe, even down in the basement, they have tombs where the preachers or pastors had been buried. This is behind the old German church. It's beautiful. Christmas time, the snow. Well, I don't know what's happening, why we're not making. There we go. Of course, this is the first village we went to, the village of Seekendale. You can see the poverty there. We'd walk into the house, you see no cabinets. You see an old stove that burns wood. You don't see any food anywhere around, maybe a loaf of bread. That's how poor the people are. Our main goal was to preach the gospel and see souls saved. And with God's help and your faithful support, this is being accomplished. And this church has supported us now, picked us up as a missionary. We appreciate it. We have a couple of people in the church that support us and become partners with the ministry, and I'll share more about that at the end. This is the first church that we built there, or we bought an old house and converted it, cleaned it up, painted it, knocked walls out. This is the old barn out beside the house, which was the cow barn. And we took that and we made a kitchen out of it, and it's got beautiful tile floors in it now, a beautiful red roof, and that's where we cook the food. We feed 3 hot meals a week starting in November going through the end of March. That's our Knockridge Church. This is where I was telling you the young man that came. He may be in the picture here. I don't know. But that's where you can hit it back there if you can, because I'm not making contact. Did it change? Oop. I'll tell you, I'm not drunk. I am not drunk. I tell you, I have a problem with equilibrium, I believe if that's what you call it. My balance is not too good. But we're going to do this from back here. Okay. That's the church that Seren pastors. I'll tell you what, it's a beautiful building. We built that one completely up out of the ground. And every day of the week, 5 days a week, is where we have after school. Children go to school till noon, and then they come to after school program, about 85 of them, and they come willingly, not because they have to. And that's in the Fulfilia Church. That one we built up out of the ground as well. And this is our Okna-Sabuli Church. That's 3 stories. Upstairs is not finished out. That's the main sanctuary on ground level. And then the lower level is where we have for the children, youth, and the kitchen and everything. That's this inside of the sanctuary of the Oak Nasrabuli Church. That was the last one we built, and had God told me what it was going to cost to build that building, I probably would have never started it. And there's the van bringing a load of children to church. And there's Brother Mike Chisholm. Some of you may know him. He pastors over here at Victory Assembly. He went over there last October, done a great job while he was there. And I want to get Brother Chad to do the same thing. Everybody agree? And there he is, Brother Chisholm, sitting down on the platform praying for the children. There he is again, praying for the needy. That's a beautiful sight. That's over the village of Horseman, where Seren's church is at, and see the beautiful mountains that's back down in the valley. This is how the poor people live. And in the wintertime, you can see clothes hanging on the line, and they stay there until the weather changes. Children playing out on the hillside with a slide. We have helped build a number of those houses in that area. That's in Seekendale. That's what a mud house looks like. It's hard to see from back here, but it's made out of sticks and mud. They put mud together and sticks, hold it together. When it rains and washes the mud off, they just put more mud back on. And that's a compound where families actually live. Can you believe people live in those shacks? There again, the old homes where they've built out of logs. That one there's got a picture window or whatever you can call it. There are children standing around an old wood stove. That's what they have in the home to keep warm and to cook on. I'm going to show you another picture in a few minutes of something on a cook stove. That's chicken bones. I walked into that house and looked down and seen that frying pan there with something in it. And I asked Seren, I said, Seren, what is that? And he said, it's chicken bones. And what it is a little grocery store there in the village. They trim all the meat they can get off of the bones. And then they sell the bones. Actually, you have to pay for them. And they cook them and whatever they can get off of those bones to eat. And that's what poverty looks like. And we bought them food, give them food, bread, and cheese and stuff. There was 5 families living behind a hotel we found that had no food, nothing, and they were living in them old buildings. And we had went and got them food. There's Seren again, on the left-hand side in a red jacket, and a friend of ours taking food up to the people on the hill. This is Christmas time. Every year we send out letters to get help to buy items for the Christmas bags for the children, because outside of what we give them for Christmas, hardly any of them get a Christmas gift. They're so poor. And that's inside of the Seekendale Church. The Christmas program where the children were doing it, Christmas program, the gift bags under the trees. Well, every once in a while we slow down here. Can you hit a key or something? There we go. That is in our Fulfilia Church. It's a beautiful congregation, and I'll tell you, on Sundays or whenever we have church, the churches are filled. And there again, that is in the Christmas program in Horseman Church. Before we went to these villages 20 years ago, these children knew nothing about Christ. They knew nothing about a Christmas program and what Christmas meant. That's a beautiful picture. I've had that picture a long time. A child looking up at a Christmas tree. Now, you say they're poor, but how do they dress like that? Well, every year, the Dutchmans come in with about 4 or 5 trailer trucks, and they come in and they bring clothing, they bring some food items, canned vegetables and things of that nature, furniture. And Saran has been working with them for a number of years and has a great relationship, and they have tremendously helped our people in the villages. And there again is the Christmas bags under the tree, ready to be passed out. And there's the Christmas bags again, and that's in the Horseman Church, in Saren's church. Isn't that a beautiful picture? The children waiting for their gift bag. The little girl holding the doll representing Christ. And they're feeding the children. That is in the Horseman Church. That's the after-school program. I can't see from this far back. There they are in the after-school program. Now, let me tell you about the after-school program real quick. As I said, the children go to school till noon. After school, at noon when they get out, they go home and they have no one to help them study because the parents can't read or write, many of them. So what they do is they come there and they get a snack or get some food. Then after they eat, they have 1 hour of Bible. And then the rest of the afternoon, they're there and studying. The teacher said that their grades have improved so much since we've been doing the after-school program, and it's in 3 of our churches. And there you can see the children studying. There's the girl teacher helping them. We have a church or a family out of Arkansas that pays for the after-school program in the Horseman Church. And it costs something like about $3,000 a month. That pays the teachers and helps to buy the food. That's in our Okna-Sebule Church, the after-school program. And there's all the children in the Horseman Church. We have kids camp every year. Groups go over and do kids camp. They'll hold 1 day of kids camp in each one of the churches. Now, if you look at that, in America, you have hot dogs to hold over the fire. There, they can't afford hot dogs. And what they do is they mix up dough with sugar in it. And then they roll that dough out and roll it around the sticks and cook it over the fire. And then they eat it. It doesn't taste too bad. And there again, feeding the children. You can see a Bible. We furnish the families with Bibles because the children can read the Bible to their parents. Feeding them hot dogs. That's one of our pastor's daughters there, and they were making up hot dogs there for one of the meals for the children. And those are big, long hot dogs. That's what you call a foot-long hot dog. And I'll tell you what, the children love them. And there again, feeding the children. This is in our Seekendale Church. That was an old horse barn. We sealed it out, insulated it, and this is where they feed the children and the families. And where the building with the red roof is where they cook the food to feed them in this building here. There's Mihaila, Saren's wife, wonderful lady, pushing bread. Every once in a while they'll buy bread and distribute to the families. Well, there we go. Now there's 2 big loaves of bread. They look like big old peanuts. And this is a beautiful picture. I've had that for quite a while. The children helping to carry the bread home. That picture is a little boy in the village of Seekendale. That's spring water that comes out of the hills. And it runs all the time. And he wanted a drink of water, so he got up on the trough. And this is where a lot of the families in the area get water from. And in 5-gallon jugs, you'll see them after a while. But when it freezes up, it's no water. There's the jugs that they go and get water in. And there's Seren Brizai, another Seren that we have. He pastors the Seekendale Church, bringing bread to deliver to the poor. There's a child with 2 loaves of bread. And that's probably all they'll have in their house to eat is that bread. There again, bread that's being distributed to them. And that in the Horseman Church, Syringe Church, congregation. Well, we hit a dry spot there again. It doesn't want to click. There we go. This picture I want you to notice. It's in the Northridge Church. And when we first went to Romania in that church and all the other ones, we preached the gospel and tell them about Jesus. And they sat there just, looking and staring at you. No response whatsoever. But now in the churches, when you preach the gospel and tell them about Jesus, they're raising their hands, praising the Lord, and weeping. I'll tell you, this is such a blessing. And there's Brother George and Brother Seren fixing to baptize that man in the blue shirt. That young lady is crippled. When she walks, if you squat down just a little bit and bend your knees, that's the way she walked. And she said she was always mad at God because she had to walk that way. And she gave her heart to Jesus. And she said, I'm not mad at God anymore. I know that He has a new body for me. And that's Brother George. Brother George just had surgery on, had some stents put in, and he's doing pretty good. Y'all keep him in prayer. And there he is with the man that I told you about, 25 years old. There was an Orthodox, Romanian Orthodox, that came by, gave his heart to Jesus, and now is baptized. And there's his family was sitting up on the front row in the Northridge Church. And there's the man that I said in the blue shirt. They baptize. Everybody that's baptized will be in white. That is something, I don't know what it is, but they are. And they hold a curtain up in front of them when they come up out of the water, and they'll hold a curtain up. There's a man and his wife being baptized together. This is wonderful. Seeing families saved. I've seen one whole family that had 3 children. All of them were baptized together. A lady looking at the Bible. Now, the younger generation can read, but many of the older ones cannot. A load of potatoes being delivered. I don't know if Brother Mike Chisholm purchased that, but I know he purchased a lot of food while he was there for the churches. And there's Pompelia cooking a pot of stew. And let me tell you something, it's good. It hasn't got a lot of meat in it, but it has a lot of vegetables. And that's what happens whenever they have leftovers, they send it home. We feed 3 meals a week, and then they give them what's left over, and you can see a big old plastic bottle cut off and putting the food into that bottle. And there's the food on the table. There's Seren serving in his church. A Christmas meal. Every year we serve a Christmas meal to the entire families and anybody that wants to come. They're very poor and they have no money for Christmas meals. There are the meals being served. Pork, mashed potatoes. That's a beautiful picture. The children will not touch their food until I pray for it. There again is a beautiful picture. That little one is going after the noodles. We're nearly at the end. And there's a young man eating. I tell you, it's such a blessing to feed those children because they have nothing to eat, as I said. And so to see them, and they're always ready for more. You can see the little girl getting right down to the bottom with that spoon, every drop in that bowl. And there's one right there that says, do you have any more? I'll tell you, we can give them more. We as individuals, as churches, and those that support us, all of our partners, we appreciate the church here that allows us to come to park our trailer. That saves us quite a bit of money for the ministry. And we appreciate the church's support, those individuals that are partners with us. Let me say this real quick, and I'm finished. Number one, the hats out there on the table are some of the greatest testimonies of a witnessing tool that you'll find. Walking with Jesus on one, or this and that, and people will ask you about it, and it gives you an opportunity to witness. And Pastor's been teaching on evangelism. I know I was here Wednesday night. If you would like to become a partner with this ministry, pick up a brochure. In that brochure is an envelope and all about our ministry. And if you become a partner, just put your offering into the envelope, send it to us. We will send you a letter back and with pictures and your receipt every month. Don't think that $5 or $10 or $15 is not worth. Any amount is worth it. For $1, we can feed a child 2 meals. $1 can put a bowl of stew in front of a child. So, children rather. So if you give $10, that's 20 children you're feeding. You think it's not much, but it is a lot. When I have enough people that become partners with the ministry on a monthly basis. We appreciate our partners, and as I said, we send them a letter every month with the receipt and at least 6 pictures of what's going on in the ministry. God bless you. Thank you. And where's Pastor? Where'd he go? He got lost. Oh, there he is. The other thing I want to say while he's coming over here is not one penny of your gifts or offerings go for our support. We pay for that trailer ourselves that's sitting out there. So I just want you to know that we're not taking money from you and living high on the hog. We're not. We give into our ministry every month, just as the church and the individuals do. Thank you, and God bless you so much.
Thank you, Dan. I need, if one of the ushers will bring one of the offering baskets back, we're going to take up an offering for them to help them tonight, or excuse me, this morning. And while they're coming, let me also announce I will be ministering tonight. Sister Christy's out of town, so I'll be ministering tonight at 6 o'clock. So come back out for the service tonight at 6. And remember this, the scripture says, if any man gives a cup of water in the name of a prophet, he receives the prophet's reward. And, I know we can't all go to Romania. All the grandmas and mamas in this room, you saw those hungry little kids and you wished you could put a pot of soup in their hand. But you can't get there from here, but you can send your dollars. And like he said, $1 will feed 2 bowls of soup. So, yes, and if you need to use the card slide, you can go to the back and use the card slide back at the kiosk in the back. Just be sure and tell them that's for Dan Janes. And if you're writing a check, please write it to Bell's Chapel Assembly of God Church, and we'll write them one check for that. Father, I thank you for this ministry, for Dan's faithfulness. Father, I pray that you'll continue to give Dan and Faye great health and strength to be able to continue this ministry. Bless Seren over there in Romania. Father, I pray that today that you'll bless this offering that we're sending that way, that it'll touch those people, that it'll cause the gospel to be spread, that, Father, it'll feed their bodies and feed their spirits, and we thank you for it in Jesus' name. Amen. Go ahead, guys. And again, as you're leaving, be sure and go by and check his table. Talk to Dan. He's going to be parked out here for about a month, and he'd love for you to come by. If you got some time one day, stop by and visit. He and Faye, they'd love to tell you more about Romania and what God's doing over there. They'd love to sit and visit with you about it. While they're also taking up offering, I got them both here. Ivy, come here. Come on, Hannah. Ivy and Hannah. Ivy I did this Wednesday night. Ivy wasn't here, but I'm going to get the whole crowd while I got the whole crowd. Hannah and Ivy are going to Africa to do a mission. Yeah, everybody give them a hand. So Alex, are you going too? Get on up here. That's 3. These are 3 of our guys right here, our young lions that are turning into full-grown lions that are learning to roar, going to Africa on a mission trip. But they're going to also need financial support. They can't swim there from here. It's a long, long swim. So if you got a chance, pray about it. If you'd like to support them, they've got paperwork that they can give you where you can help support their ministry. They're going with Chi Alpha at Arkansas Tech, so they're not just going willy-nilly. This is going to be a very organized thing for them to go do, and they're going to be reaching souls over there. So pray about it. If you'd love to support them, get with them, and they would love to tell you what's going on with them, what God's going to do with them. Father, I thank you for this great day, gathering us here together under your name. I thank you for the people's hearts and lives that have been touched. Father, gather us back here tonight at 6 to worship you again, and we thank you for it. Amen. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you tonight.